Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you all about budgeting, how we do it here at the Life of Tillmans. So first question some people may think is why a budget, which I feel like is an obvious question. We budget so that we don't overspend. We budget so that we know how much we have to spend. Simply put, that is the purpose of a budget. When is my budget set? I set my budget from March to March because typically for the next school year, I am looking for curriculum in January and February. And by March, I'm ready to start purchasing that curriculum. So I want to make sure that my budget aligns with the time that I'm purchasing the curriculum so that I'm not purchasing curriculum within the same year for 2 different school years. Hope that makes sense. So that is how I set my budget so this year's budget is set from March of 2022 until February 28th of 2023. Now I'm going to give you some real numbers about our budget for this school year. I want to preface this by saying this is our budget, what we have allotted for the Life of Tillmans, and it works for us. I do make adjustments, but whatever your budget is, whether it's lower or higher, stay within your means and what you and your family are able and willing to spend on curriculum for your household while you're homeschooling. Now I'm going to hop into specific numbers. Each one of my daughters gets their own individual budget, anywhere from $250 to $350. Yes, that is the budget for each one of my girls. There are times where we don't even get close to the $250, and then there are times where we are inching right up there to that $350 mark. It all really just depends on what their needs are, if we're changing curriculum, if I have curriculum to pass down. There are so many factors that play into how that budget is allotted or used, because I allot the same amount no matter what, but depending on how it's used is determined by what curriculum they're needing and those other factors that I just mentioned. This budget that I set for each one of my daughters individually is for their core curriculum. So what I consider to be core specifically for them would be math and anything that falls under language arts. So we're talking grammar, spelling, vocabulary, reading comprehension. All of those subjects fall under this $250 to $350 budget for each of my daughters. Also, I add in supplements. If they're needing additional work within those subjects, still considered core work, then I will give them that. And it is a part of that budget also. So on the other side, we do have a family budget. And this is the budget that I use for all of our family subjects. So we're talking geography, science, history, art, music, and Bible as well. Even though Bible is a core subject, it is required within our homeschool. I usually do Bible together because my girls are going to kindergarten, 4th and 5th grade. We do those subjects together. So I still group it under family subjects, but I allot in the family subjects category $300 to $400. This is a stretch. A lot of times I don't need it because we're doing family subjects. That is a way that I'm able to save in this specific area. Now, on top of having a yearly budget for curriculum, I also have a monthly budget for extra things. This monthly budget is anywhere between $50 to $100. I haven't set it firm just yet, but it will be within that range for this school year. That budget is used for anything extra that we need or want within our homeschool. For example, if I'm needing science kits to go with our science curriculum, that will be a part of that budget. Field trips that we may take every month will also be a part of our monthly budget. Any books that my girls are interested in. Things that I don't consider into our homeschool budget is ink and our printer and paper. And the reason being is because my husband uses a lot of that for work as well, and I do for personal use that has nothing to do with homeschool. So I don't want to eat up my budget including that in there. It just really helps me save a little bit. So that budget goes towards our house and not our homeschool. Also, it includes everyday supplies. So we're talking pens, pencils, erasers, markers, color pencils, whatever they may need, spiral notebooks. I mean, any school supplies that we need will go into that monthly budget. Now you're probably wondering, like, what happens if you don't use that monthly budget? I let it roll over to the next month because there are times where we're going to need a whole lot more for a month. And there are other times that we don't hardly use even $25 of that $50 to $100 budget. So in those times, I simply let it roll over. Now, here's the catch. I do not let it roll over from year to year. If I get to the end of this 2022-2023 school year in February and we have money left over that's just been rolled over, that just gets kicked back into our home and we start our homeschool budget over again. Because the way I think about it is if I really didn't need it for that whole year, I'm not going to tack it on to the next year because then I may feel like I have to spend it. And I don't want to have that mentality. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos uploaded. Now you're probably wondering, how do I keep track of all of this? I am an old school spiral notebook kind of girl. I simply write down each month what we buy. I do keep receipts and I tally it up for that month. Now, I'm not doing a ton of spending, guys, so there's not a whole lot of math that goes into this, but I do keep a track of it weekly, and I have an idea of where I am within that budget so that I stay there for that month, and also while planning and purchasing curriculum for our girls to stay within that yearly budget for their curriculum. The next way that I stay on budget is I actually use an app. It is simply called the Checkbook app. Now, this app is used for all of our finances within our home when I am managing things and balancing our checkbook. So I don't use an old school check registry. I do still have some though. But I simply put everything into this app on my phone. It gives me a backup to my paper. And then it allows me to be able to see where we are on our budget. In case I don't have my spiral notebook with me and I'm out, I can look on my phone and say, okay, we have $25 left for this month and I need a couple of things for our homeschool. I have the room to go and get it. I love this app. I have used it probably for about 5 years. It's been awesome in helping us maintain our budget within our home. Now I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I actually stay on budget. If I don't have the money to buy it, I don't buy it. Don't overextend yourself. Wait until that next month that comes around and you probably will have the additional funds within that month's budget to be able to purchase it. The way that I keep up with what I need is I have a list. I have what's called a next month's list. On this next month's list is things that I was not able to get the prior month. So for example, if February is here and I spent all of our budget on something that we needed in the month of February, and I have a list of other things that I would like to get. They're not necessarily needs. I push them to March's budget. And then when March comes around, I prioritize what is needed for that month. If I'm able to grab some of those things, I go ahead and do it. If not, I'll wait until the next month. But I keep a running list. That way, if there are things that I need and I want later on, I still remember that I wanted them. And when the budget allows for it, then I go ahead and grab them. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.